This is our 1-year anniversary of a la carte, which is hard to believe that we've done this for a full year. We're very excited to have Matt back again. He started this last November and was kind enough to agree to come to our 1st-year anniversary. I hope everyone's got the cookbook to take home with you. This is all the recipes that we've done for the full year, and I hope you'll enjoy this and try some of these at home. And I'm going to turn this over to Matt and hope he does better with the microphone than I've done.
Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome. What is today? Tuesday, right? Is it today? November, it's Tuesday, it's a beautiful day outside. Welcome back to everybody who's been here before, and if anybody's new, welcome for the first time. As Trish said, this is the 1-year anniversary. We started this Lakewood cooking demo a full year ago, believe it or not. And it's gone very well. We've gotten like-minded chefs in the Lakewood area to come and donate their time, donate the food, to hopefully benefit the community a little bit. So I'm happy to be back. Thank you to Trish. Thank you to Three Arches. Thank you to Lakewood. Thank you to this beautiful Cove Community Center. Has anybody been here before? Has anybody tried any of the recipes that we provided for you? How did they turn out? Did they turn out well? Yeah. Did you enjoy them? Fantastic. I'm glad to hear. Trish said she did too. She's the tested guinea pig back there for all of them, right? So today, let me introduce myself. My name is Matt Fish. I'm the owner and founder of Melt Bar and Grilled. Hopefully you guys are at least familiar with where we are, Detroit and Warren. Started the company there going on 18 years ago now. We opened up in 2006. At the little restaurant, the little corner of Warren and Detroit over there, and we grew exponentially over the last 18 years, and we've got 6 locations right now spread out all throughout Ohio. We've got 5 in Northeast Ohio, 1 down in Akron, and then another one down in Columbus. So today, we're going to end up making an Asian-themed salad that we have on our menu at Melt Bar and Grilled. It's called the Awesome Noodle Salad. And it starts with fresh-made peanut butter, which is one of my favorite things on earth. I ate peanut butter from birth, I think, until today, this morning. It was part of my breakfast. Banana and peanut butter is one of my favorite foods on earth. You can substitute any sort of nut with it. It's actually a nut butter. Peanut butter is my favorite, but I've made this with cashews. I've made this with almonds. It works exactly the same ratios work. Peanut or nut to peanut oil to brown sugar to kosher salt. So that's going to be one of the recipes we're going to make. I've got a pot over here that's already hot. We're actually going to make candied peanuts. You guys have probably seen candied peanuts before, sugar-coated peanuts or sugar-coated nuts. A lot of times you see them with different spices on them. Sometimes holidays you have spiced nuts or cinnamon. This is a very simple recipe. It's a very simple candied peanut. It is white sugar, salt, water, and peanuts. Fresh roasted peanuts, non-salted. So I'm actually going to start this first because this is a hot pan and this takes a little bit long. So fresh roasted peanuts here. These are non-salted peanuts. So when you're making candied peanuts, you for sure want to use non-salted peanuts, non-flavored peanuts. You can add flavoring to it. So adding my peanuts, I'm adding water. And I'm adding white sugar, lots of white sugar. This should yield about a quart of candied peanuts. A little bit of salt, just from flavoring. I'm going to use a spatula. I'm just going to work this around in here. But doesn't like it. So I think you guys can see the overhead view. So I've got water, peanuts, sugar, salt in here. All you want to do is you just want to let this reduce. So I'm going to let the water evaporate, leaving behind the sugar and the salt and the peanuts. As the water evaporates, the sugar is going to start to crystallize, and it's going to start to coat the peanuts. And we'll see as this kind of works its way down. And bear with me because this is a non-gas heating element here. This is called an induction burner, so it's actually not hot at all. It reacts with the metal and heats up the pan, but it's very safe to touch. You want a nice simmer. You don't want it to be crazy boiling over because the sugar in the water could have a tendency to rise and go over the sides. That is not good. That's a mess. Anybody ever done that before? I see people laughing out there. Yeah, you have. You can do this with almonds. You can do this with cashews. You can do this with pecans. Like I said, this is a very versatile recipe, and you can start playing with it. Like I said, it's very cheap ingredients, so if you want to have fun with it. Okay, so this is working. I think I'm going to turn it down one more. Okay, so peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Who does not love peanut butter? I better not see any hands out there. I'll be very upset. I'll ask you to leave if you tell me you don't. Peanut butter, fantastic, very simple, very easy to make. This is a fresh made peanut butter. All ingredients you recognize. No preservatives, no fillers. There's no need for that in peanut butter. Fresh ground peanut butter, I think, is some of the best. So this one's a very simple recipe. So I've got, again, fresh roasted peanuts. These are chopped up. This is what we use at the restaurant to make it. You can use this whole peanuts. We just use these because truly these are cheaper to buy than the other peanuts. That's why we use them. But if you go to the grocery store, you go to the store and you're looking for peanuts to use or a nut, you're going to pulverize these things, so it truly doesn't matter what they look like just when you start with them because they're all going to look the same when you're done. Okay, so we've got that, and we've got brown sugar. So again, about a quart of brown sugar is going in with this guy. Got about probably maybe one tablespoon of white sugar or salt going in there, and then I got peanut oil. I'm putting all of it together. And this is a very large commercial grade food processor. Excuse me. I'm sure if you're a home cook, I'm sure you've got some sort of food processor at home. Anything would work. Anything that has a little bit of strength to it will probably work. Where did I put the lid for this? Oh, right here. I'm going to turn it on, let it go for a little bit. The oil is going to start mixing in, obviously, start breaking the peanuts down. I'm going to stir it up for a second. Anybody ever made fresh peanut butter? Fresh ground peanut butter at home? Very simple, very easy. Simple ingredients. This will be difficult to make without a food processor. You could substitute a blender. But if you're using a blender to make your peanut butter at home, I would start with small quantities because you guys know what a blender looks like. Tall, the blades at the bottom, and a kind of a funnel. So it's going to be very difficult to get all these thick ingredients all the way down to that blade. All right, see what's happening over here? It's getting thicker. A lot of the water is starting to get out of it. You can also see how this peanut butter, it started pretty thick, and it was pretty rough, but now it's nice and smooth. The oil's taken over. The peanuts are all pulverized. Okay, so you can see what's going on here. It's starting to caramelize a little bit. The sugars are getting dark. That's what we want. Obviously, we don't want to burn it. I think this is perfect. This is the perfect heat for it because it's not slow cooking and it's not over the top where I have to be cautious and worried that I'm going to burn the heck out of the thing. So actually, this peanut butter, we're going to use the peanut butter because the next recipe we're going to make is also a recipe in that book. It's our peanut sesame dressing, which has a variety of different fun ingredients. But one of them is actually the fresh made peanut butter that I've got here. And then these candy peanuts are going to end up in this salad that I'm working out over here too. So another really good nut to use for a nut butter is cashew. I used to make cashew butter a lot. It's awesome. Cashews are high in oils, also high in fat, so they lend themselves very well to making nut butters. Obviously, nuts with higher oil content make better nut butters than others. I mean, then you just have to add other oils to it to make it work. But all right, see where we're at here? if I was at home or if I was making this in the store, might go a little bit longer. But since I'm not used to the heat of this pan here, or this cooking element, I'm going to turn it off because the residual heat of the pan is pretty hot right now. So it's gonna caramelize these candied peanuts here a little bit longer. You know what? I'm feeling crazy today. I'm gonna turn it back on, especially since Trish is washing this pan. I'm not concerned. I just don't want it to burn. All right, I think we're good on these guys. I'm gonna turn it down slightly. I'm making a really big mess too, sorry. Do we need more peanuts? All right, so we're gonna move on. I'm gonna turn this guy off because we are good here. Okay, so we're moving on to our peanut sesame dressing. Cool. Okay, so this is a very simple recipe. I have water. I have brown sugar. We have peanut oil. I've got lime juice. We have garlic, chopped garlic. We've got sesame oil. And I had a question earlier. So this is sambal. Does anybody know sambal? Has anybody ever used sambal? Ever heard that word? It's Asian. It's an Asian chili pepper mixture. So it's crushed hot red peppers that are mixed with vinegar and salt. They sell it commercially. Typically, you can find it in Asian grocery stores. I'm pretty sure Heinen's or Giant Eagle is going to have some sort of variation of it. Yes, sir? La Plaza? La Plaza's got it. All right. So it's very spicy. It's very hot. It's also very flavorful. It's a great flavor enhancer. There's not a lot in this dressing. So this dressing is not spicy at all. But it's a flavor enhancer. It kind of adds a little bottom line. It kind of boosts the other flavors in here. Also, another fun ingredient is tamari soy sauce. Has anybody ever used tamari soy sauce? So there's two different types of soy sauce in our world right now. There's regular soy sauce, which comes from China, and there's tamari soy sauce, which comes from Japan. The reason that we use the tamari soy sauce is because this soy sauce is brewed without wheat, which means this is gluten-free. So we cater to a lot of allergens at the restaurant. So we choose to make all of our ingredients and all of our recipes that call for a soy sauce. We choose to use the tamari, which comes from Japan, because it does not have a gluten allergy. So typically when we're making like this dressing, we can say this dressing is gluten-free because we don't use regular soy sauce. Regular soy sauce coming from China typically is brewed with some sort of wheat component in it, which means it cannot be gluten-free. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in all of our ingredients in here. So we've got our water, got our tamari soy sauce that we talked about. I got all of our brown sugar going in there. We've got our lime juice, a little bit of our garlic, sesame oil. You guys are probably hopefully all familiar with sesame oil. Great flavor. Obviously, it's an oil made from sesame seeds. This is kind of the building block to a lot of Asian recipes, a lot of Asian flavors. When I'm doing stir fries at home, I will typically mix half and half. I'll mix half sesame oil, half vegetable oil when I'm sauteing vegetables and meats. When I'm making Asian dishes, it just kind of brings that flavor out a little bit. This is our sambal that we talked about, which is going in. Gonna mix that bad boy up. So I'm gonna mix it all with a whisk. To emulsify this correctly, we're gonna use a blender. All right, so you can do this by hand, but man, it's a pain in the butt, and it's gonna take a while. We actually use an immersion blender to make this in the restaurants. Immersion blender is just a hand blender. I'm sure you guys have seen those out in the wild. This also works as well, if not better. Start right on low. Bring ourselves up. You guys all know let's tell. So the fancy, cool blenders in the world obviously have a little top that comes off. So if you are having to add things like I'm about to add this peanut oil to this recipe to emulsify it, which means to kind of bind it all together so it doesn't break. Oh, you know what I forgot to put in there? It's the peanut butter. Thanks for reminding me. That would have went through this whole thing. And I would have been like, all right, ready, and like, oh shoot, there's the peanut butter. So, peanut butter is in. So we're going for it. Okay, so everything's in here except for the peanut oil. This is here. So I'm going to add this slowly. I don't want to just jam it all in there and pour it in there, because it's just going to overload it and it's not going to emulsify correctly. So I'm slowly adding this oil. You guys see it's changing color right before our magical eyes. So that's incorporating the peanut oil into it. It's emulsifying, which means it's just kind of binding together and mixing up, thickening up slightly. So I'm incorporating the air in there with the oil. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so we're good there, we're good there. Okay, last but certainly not least, so we've got our peanut butter, which we made. You guys all tried it? Did everyone get a chance to try it? Did you enjoy it? Good. So we've got our peanut butter, we've got our peanut sesame dressing, we've got our candied peanuts. Now the grand finale is we're going to combine everything together and we're going to make our awesome noodle salad. Spinach. And on the other side, I've got Napa cabbage. Anybody familiar with Napa cabbage? Napa cabbage is a soft cabbage. It's kind of like bok choy. It's in the cabbage family, but it's very similar to bok choy. Very soft. You can eat it raw, which we're going to today. You can cook it. We also cook it. So this is a lo mein noodle. Lo mein noodles are very simple. Eggs, flour, and water. Very simple. This is probably, not probably, it is the most common Asian noodle that you're going to find in the United States. This is your basis for the lo mein dish that you see in lots of Chinese restaurants, which there's so many variations of that. We don't have all day to talk about it, but typically you take this and then you saute it or you stir fry it in a very hot wok or a hot pan, and then you add vegetables and you add meats and you add some sort of soy sauce base for it. So we're going to add these noodles in here, in there like that. Okay, so first we've got cherry tomatoes, very simple. We all know what cherry tomatoes are. If you don't have cherry tomatoes, you can substitute regular hothouse tomatoes, 6x6, 5x5s, Roma tomatoes. You got a tomato, you can cut it up and put it in the salad. Fresh basil. So we take the whole basil leaves and we don't cut them, we actually tear them. We tear them up. Why do we cut them, or why do we tear them and not cut them? Anybody know? Anybody have a guess? It does bruise them, yes, it bruises them. Especially since we're making this salad fresh. By me tearing them like this, they're going to hold their shape and they're going to look good for hours and hours. If I cut them, if I put metal against this, it's going to bruise the herb and it's going to start to turn dark pretty quick. Now, if I was cooking this, if I'm making a pasta with it, if I'm making this in a tomato sauce, you can chop it up with a knife because it's going to go into a hot sauce. You're going to cook it. You're not going to see it. It's not going to look like this when we're done with it. But we're making this in a salad, so we're going to tear. Next, we're going to move on to another herb, one of my all-time favorite herbs. If you had to have a favorite herb, cilantro. Does anybody not like cilantro? I'm still putting it in here. It wouldn't matter, but I'm just curious. And last but certainly not least, we're going to use fresh mint. And we're going to do the same thing with the fresh mint. We're just going to tear it up slightly. The mint's going to add a cleaner flavor to here. It's also going to add cleaner flavor, fresher flavors to it. Green onions. And I probably would not substitute white onions in this recipe or in this salad. You could if you wanted to, but it's a very delicate salad. It's a lighter salad. The white onion is going to overpower everything that's in here. A red onion is really going to overpower everything that's in here. A shallot's really going to overpower everything. So green onion, a chive could work in here because chives are a lot mellower. We got 3 avocados here, which we're going to cut up. So we're going to take the avocado, and we're going to put our knife in the top. Be very careful. We're going to go around like so. If you're not as savvy with a knife, you can obviously lay it down and you can twist it like this. You don't have to hold it in your hand, your palm of your hand like that. I've been doing this for quite a number of years, so I feel pretty confident with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut the avocados inside the skin. So what you want to do is you kind of hold it in your hand, excuse me, with the knife, go real delicately. You don't want to break the skin. You kind of feel the knife working itself on the skin right there. I'm going to cut it into little squares in here. Obviously, if you're not as savvy with the knife, you can take the spoon, take the avocado out, put it onto a cutting board, and then you can dice it up that way. I love avocados. They're fantastic, fresh like this. They're great in salads, great with guacamole. Literally, you could take this, put a little salt on top, eat it with a spoon. They're high in fat, but it's good fat. It's non-trans fat. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these avocados to our salad, and we're going to add our salad dressing, and then we're going to mix it up. So our dressing is here, our candied peanuts are here. See how hard they got? So they really, really candied up. So those are going in, we're kind of winging it. You know what, we're gonna go for it. We're feeling crazy. So I'm gonna guess, look how beautiful this dressing came out to be. So we definitely don't need all of it. So we're gonna start there. And I'm gonna go in with my hands. I got my gloves on. So believe you me, this is the easiest way to do it. And the cleanest way to do it. Tongs will work, obviously mixing spoons will work, but if we want to get down and dirty, this is how we do it in the restaurant. Gloved hands, get in there and mix it up. Want to incorporate everything. You don't have to be so gentle with it that you're worried about smashing the ingredients or smashing the avocados. You really want to get in, especially with these noodles. You want to make sure that they're separated, that they're getting all the dressing on them, because you don't want them to clump up. That's one thing you don't want to do, because obviously you guys are probably familiar with pasta and noodles. They are sticky. So I think that was pretty good ratio dressing wise. I think we're wrapping it up. I mean, we might try some of the salad here in a second, but if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, yes, sir?
How well does peanut oil or, say avocado oil, but sesame oil, how well do they stand up to heat if you were to cook with them?
Peanut oil is much better than sesame oil. Sesame oils have a smoke point, which is when you heat oil up and it starts to smoke. When it starts to smoke, it's too hot. So peanut oil, it has one of the lower smoke points of the majority of oils. It's a very delicate oil, so you want to add it to when you stir fry with it, you want to add it right to the wok or the pan, and then you immediately are throwing your ingredients in. There's no downtime. If you have a hot pan, you're putting your sesame oil in, you're kind of going around the edge, it drips down. By the time it gets to the bottom, it's hot, you're throwing your ingredients in and you're ready to rock. Olive oil, vegetable oil have very high smoke points, so you can put those in a pan, you can turn them on, you can let them sit there for a while, you can kind of watch them, let them heat up, get to the point where they're nice and hot, and then you can start to cook with them and saute with them. Peanut oil is somewhere in the middle. Peanut oil does have a higher smoke point than sesame oil for sure. However, peanut oil is a lot more expensive than vegetable oil. If I was to be cooking, if I had to choose between one or the other, it really depends on the application. If I'm making Asian style food, I'm going to lean towards a sesame oil, probably mixed with vegetable oil. Peanut oil is very, very versatile. You can use it in replacement to vegetable oil or even in replacement to olive oil, but it has a lower smoke point, and then you have to be concerned with the allergen. Is peanut oil more fattening? Yes. Yes. Peanut oil is not the healthiest oil to use on earth, but on a day-to-day cooking application, it's not the healthiest oil for you because peanuts have a high fat content, and when you're producing the oil for them, you're getting all that fat in there. Avocado oil is the same way. I mean, it's great, it's fantastic, but it has a high, it's a high fat content. Good fat, but still high in fat. It's all in moderation. It's all in moderation. Yes? The lo mein noodles are cooked first, yes. So these are fresh lo mein. So we take them, we boil them very, very quickly, and then we rapidly chill them in ice water, and then we dry them, and then we store them. So if you're getting fresh lo mein, which I would highly suggest for this, same thing. Just follow the cooking instructions on the package, and then chill them. Even if they were lukewarm, you could use them for this salad. But yeah, cooked. You can find dry lo mein noodles in the grocery store. And then again, you're just gonna have to follow the cooking instructions and the same thing. Cook them, chill them, and then you can use them for this. I mean, this is an Asian style salad, so we're using lo mein noodles, but if you wanted to use spaghetti in here, you certainly could. You wanted to use like linguine, fettuccine, you want to use egg noodles, you want to turn this into like a pasta salad, like a penne pasta. Other Asian noodles will work at the same. Udon would work in here. Buckwheat noodles would work in here. It's really versatile. We use the lo mein noodles. I can make it really easy for you. Down at Warren in Detroit, there's a restaurant called Melt Bar and Grilled. Salads on the menu every single day. Easy. Tell them you know me. So thanks everybody for coming. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I entertained you, or we entertained each other for a little while. We learned a little bit. But thank you to Trish Rooney. Thank you for the Lakewood Community Services Center, Three Arches, Cove Community Center, Lakewood in general. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.